What is up, YouTube? My name is Dead Mewtwo, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite decks that I think is really fun and something that you're all going to really enjoy. And this deck features the new card Porygon-Z. And once I get into the strategy of it, I think that you're all going to be able to see exactly why I like it and why you all might like it as well. But before I get into the video, I really want to appreciate you all for being my audience. I recently just crossed the 80 subscriber goal line, and doing that feels so amazing. Thank you all for your support, and thank you all for being a part of my journey. Not to mention that I also really do enjoy making this video content for you all too. That being said, I just got started here on YouTube, and so I feel like there's so much more growth to be achieved. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button and leave a comment down there in the comment section letting me know how you enjoyed this commentary and if you're going to try this deck out there in the wild. Subscribe with notifications on so that you know whenever I have a new video for you. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the strategy talk. First up, the meat and potatoes of this deck is going to be Porygon-Z. We're running 2 full lines of this, and as a flavor choice, I've opted for the old genetic Apex version of Porygon, and that's just because it has the ability Data Scan. And that reads, once during your turn, you may look at the top card of your deck, and you can activate that ability whenever you would like. For example, if you're holding a Pokeball or a Professor Oak, you can choose to use the Data Scan ability to check the top card of your deck and see if you would rather have that in your hand or if you'd rather shuffle up with the Pokeball and then draw up afterwards, which I think is super powerful and something that is a bit undervalued in the current meta. Now, once you get Porygon fully evolved to Porygon-Z, that's when things start to get a little bit different here. First and foremost, Porygon-Z has 140 HP, a 3 energy attack called Buggy Beam that does 80 damage, and specifically reads, change the type of the next energy that will be generated for your opponent to one of the following at random, and it's any of the energy that's in the game. And so usually the time that Porygon-Z is charged up from the bench, we've already put enough damage in from another element of this deck that is super awesome. And so the 80 damage that the Buggy Beam does is usually enough to clean up one Pokemon and start to lay into another. Now, the element that I was mentioning earlier is Skarmory, and I am so enlightened to this card just because when its conditions are met, it's extremely aggressive. So the way this card works is that it's a basic type Pokemon with 80 HP and a 1 energy attack that does 20 damage base, and if this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached, this does an additional 30 more damage. Now let's just say that Pokemon tool was Rocky Helmet. This all of a sudden asks your opponent if they can afford to attack you on their turn, which is going to do an additional 20 damage to them. And so as the math plays out, Skarmory has the upward potential of doing 140 damage to an opposing Pokemon if all of its conditions are met and your opponent decided to attack you. That doesn't always happen, so you can't guarantee it, but it feels really good to play this aggressively when the meta is so built around having a wall and a good defense before you start having an offense. So between Porygon and Skarmory, I think that there's enough damage presented between the turn cycles to close out several EX Pokemon and any non-EX Pokemon before your opponent has even had an opportunity to set up most of the time. I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, I try to go straight through any Druddigon that I see on my opponent's side to get to whatever they have on the back, because Skarmory can afford to take that 20 damage because of its natural 80 HP. And on the other chances that we put a giant cape on Skarmory, it's going to raise that threshold even further, allowing us to do that even more safely. And so we run 2 Skarmory in this deck. Items that we've chosen to bring into this deck with us are going to be 2 Rocky Helmet and 2 Giant Cape, specifically to be able to increase our chances with getting a Skarmory and a tool at the same time, while also these additions of these tools have so much utility in our strategy and how we execute it, pun intended. So on to a little bit of a subjective portion of this deck, and that is the supporters that you can include, with the prioritization of the tools over some supporters for some consistency in that early game aggression. We don't have the most room for a lot of supporters, and so one that I think is a must-have in your deck is going to be Giovanni. And that is because the criteria to be able to go second, start with a tool, have a Skarmory, and have a Giovanni in your hand allows you to knock out a 60 HP Pokemon on your very first turn. I know that may sound like a lot of conditions, but it's extremely easy to meet because we only run a 20 card deck and we run 2 Skarmory, 4 tools, and 1 Giovanni at least to be able to hopefully acquire all of that. Other than that, Giovanni does still offer you the 10 plus damage, which does come in handy by being able to either round off the damage your opponent needs to be able to be taken out a turn earlier, or to take out one of your opponent's Pokemon with 10 more damage. I think what can be considered a bit more subjective for the list is where Sabrina is, and that is because in general, I think I chose Sabrina over Cyrus because this deck plays so fast that your opponent doesn't really have the opportunity to pivot most of the time. They go ahead and start to subscribe to the idea that they're sacrificing that first Pokemon to continue their game plan. And so Sabrina offers a bit more proactive aggression and disruption than Cyrus does a lot of the time, but I've had several games where I wished I'd had a Cyrus and vice versa. If you're crazy and you find room for all 3 of them in this deck, I think that could lead to some extremely interesting games with some very satisfying wins. And so here's the full list if you all want to put this deck together and try this out that on your own. I think one thing to take note of that I didn't mention in the previous slides is that I have chosen to use the X speed and the Pokemon communication for added consistency and the ability to maintain my energy allocation without losing efficiency. I think that this deck is extremely fun, and the power that Porygon gives you to be able to look into the future at what you're going to be receiving on your next turn really adds some extra complexity and some planning around the way that your opponent plays in ways that I have not accessed before in this game. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. Alrighty, let's see how this one goes. Looks like we got Tails, so that's going to be good. We like that. We'll go second there. All right, Skarmory goes first, and then... All right, so it looks like we're going into Croagunk. Interesting, interesting. This is a really cool new card. I'm excited to see how they play it. Darkrai. Yeah, look at that. We like to see that. I think Darkrai is probably... I mean, I think this deck can compete in so many different spaces, but Darkrai does pose a pretty good threat just because we have to work around it. But depending on what I can pull out, you know, it looks like I didn't get a tool, so there we go. We'll just still do some damage. We're slated to be able to clear the Croagunk next turn if they don't retreat it. If we can get a tool, we have the professor's research, and then we can also draw a card. So they potion, heal up. I have a Giovanni, but I can't do that and a professor's research. But if I draw a tool, then I can still do the one shot. 2 Darkrai. Got the tool. We got the tool. All right, so we can clear the Croagunk. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to save the professor's research for later because we want to prioritize aggression here. I'm going to have to just put the energy on that. That's okay. We'll clear this Croagunk out and then see what they do next. And that's 1 point for us. This is kind of according to the game plan. We want to be as aggressive as possible. This is a part of the main strategy here. Skarmory really does carry in that case. All right, so they're going to Giant Cape. It's better than a Rocky Helmet, in my opinion. Still do 20 damage. All right, what can we draw? We can draw the Pokemon communication, which we can use. So we'll do the professor's research first. Pokeball. Cyrus. There we go. There we go. We like to see a Cyrus. Alrighty, and then we're gonna Pokeball, get ourselves a Skarmory, it's Skarmory. Well, I was hoping for a Porygon, but that's okay. Maybe we can send our Porygon-2 back in the deck for a Porygon. Awesome. There it is, Porygon, perfect. And so here's where the game plan starts to fall into place, where we get that foresight. The foresight to be able to see how our next turn is gonna play and start planning against it. All right, we got the Porygon-2 back in the hand, and so, all right, next turn might be the last turn that we can actually have the foresight for right now, at least, but let's go ahead and start powering up the Porygon, and then we're going to send it back over to Darkrai. All right, so this turn they are going to be clearing out the Darkrai, and so, man, it would just been such a nicer thing to have the Rocky Helmet on the Darkrai. All right, well, there goes Skarmory. Let's put the other Skarmory out. Porygon-2. Let's see how the next card's going to be. A Giant Cape, so that can go on the Porygon. I need... Ooh, I have to think about this. If I do here, 20 damage. If I do here... We got Porygon-Z. Okay, so let's just do here. We'll be safe. And then, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to our second Skarmory. So they are starting to build their second Darkrai, which is always a threat. So there's a possibility that I can win this. So Porygon-Z has 140 health. I get the Giant Cape, so I'm going up to 160. They have no way of doing more than that. And so I'm going to... I don't know. We'll see how this goes. There's a possibility. Well, I've got the Cyrus, so... All right. I think the idea is that I'm going to, no matter what, be able to finish off this Darkrai if they happen to retreat. Excellent. Excellent. All right. I think this is a pretty good game for us. They got a Grass Energy all of a sudden because of our Porygon. Look at that. Not going to put that on Darkrai at all. Not going to put that on Sneasel either. Man, this is going to be good. So they're going to retreat, and then they're going to put a Rocky Helmet out for me, I think. Little do they know, I've got Cyrus. All right, let's see if we can get this quickly. Oh, we get to go to the victory screen. Awesome. Look at Porygon putting in the work. Excellent, excellent. Clean victory. Look at that. All right. Let's see how this opponent does. He's going second. That's great. All right, so we have a tool, we have Skarmory, and we have a Rocky Helmet. Oh, that's what I mean. I guess we have a Skarmory and a Rocky Helmet. Okay, so we're fighting an Electabuzz. This is a new card from the Space Time Smackdown set, so this is going to be cool. All right, so Professor's Research first. Giant Cape, Pokeball. All right, let's do Rocky Helmet, Skarmory. We don't have a Porygon, so we can do a Pokeball, though. Porygon, hey, welcome to the party, man. He's got his own little party going on himself. Just like, welcome. He's got some fruit. Let's see what's going on next turn. Another Porygon. Perfect. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dig into this. Okay, so we've got the Luxio. Luxray is interesting. I haven't fought a whole lot of Luxrays out here. That Electabuzz. Basically giving up on this Electabuzz. All right, let's do Porygon 2. Let's put our second Porygon out there. We can still get some foresight on the next turn. Giant Cape again. Okay, okay. So the Spear can do 40 damage to one of my opponent's Pokemon. I assume he'd be attacking one of the Porygons. So I think I take the point. And I put the energy on Porygon 2 just to do some bait. I have the Porygon-Z pretty much ready to go. So there's no energy that was attached to the Electabuzz. So nothing went down as far as discard pile. Here's 2 energy that would go down, though. Rocky Helmet. Okay. Takes down the Porygon 2 in the back. Giant Cape. Let's go ahead and put the Giant Cape on the Porygon 2. While I also evolve the Porygon 2 into Porygon-Z. The main party goer. We're going to Sabrina the Luxray into the arena. Alrighty, and so they need a Volknir to be able to get their 2 energy off and do this whole thing. They might have it in their hand, they might not. So we do have a Professor's Research coming next turn, and that's pretty exciting. Nonetheless, we are going to bring them down to 80, which is Porygon-Z range, and they could very easily just back out and go into Electabuzz. I just wanted to make sure that my Porygon-Z was going to be ready to start getting the energy together. Okay, okay. Thunder Spear on my Skarmory. Bringing Electabuzz within one-shot range. Okay, okay. So he would be trading then. Let me go ahead and Professor's Research real quick. Rocky Helmet and Pokeball. Let's see what the data scan's got. Got a Pokemon communication device. It's not going to help us specifically. Let's go ahead and get our second Skarmory out, though. Excellent. Let's retreat this Skarmory into that Skarmory. Put our Pokemon Rocky Helmet on. And then we're going to take the Electabuzz. This is a pretty good showcase. This is a pretty good showcase of how the deck feels aggressive. And we're fighting our weakness right now. And so my hope is they never draw a Volknir. So they do have 2 electric energy in the bin. So we'll see how that goes. So do they have Volknir this turn? They do have Volkner this turn. All right, so that's the 2 energy that they needed to use. They're going to use it on this, and then I'm going to stop them from being able to get any more energy after this. Ooh, okay, okay. Attack my Skarmory. If you Sabrina, I'm going to give you another Skarmory. You might have a Cyrus. What do you got? No, he can't Cyrus because he's Volkner. Perfect. Perfect. That's 1 point for him. He did attack my Porygon-Z, which is a bit unfortunate. I forget that Luxray can actually do the targeted attack on whatever they wanted to do, and so that's strong. That's strong. All right, so let's power up here. He's gonna have to race. He's gonna have to race. He doesn't have the capability of actually holding out. He might have a potion. I don't know. But if he decides to attack this Skarmory, well, he needs to have another Pokemon to attack this Skarmory or another Volkner, but I don't think that... Yeah, no, it does work like that. So if you do discard your electric energy, you will be able to use them. He concedes. Okay, well, there's that. Sometimes the finish line is too far to grab, you know? All right, new game. Let's see how it goes. Going second. We like to go second with this deck just because Skarmory is so enabling. All right, Porygon's out. I do have a Professor Oak. So it's going to be a Yanmega. Lots of colorless attacks. All right, so we did get another Giant Cape. Let's go ahead and Professor Oak and see what happens. Pokeball and another Porygon. Maybe I can definitely get a Skarmory out of this. This is perfect. All right, so we have the Skarmory. And then I'm going to attack with the Porygon after I do the data scan. See what I get. I get the X speed next turn. Perfect. So that means that I don't have to worry about the swap out and loss of energy there. Yanmega is slated to be able to be taken next turn if he doesn't move it out. Or Yanma, I should say. Yanma, not Yanmega. This is that's the evolution. So this is a Yanma Dialga deck with a Mew complement. He's going to give me that Yanma. Interesting. He's got another Yanma, though. All right, X speed. Perfect. Perfect. Let's X speed. Retreat into Skarmory. Why don't we just see what's happening next turn? We have Impressive Research coming in. Perfect. I am going to cape up just because that is the move, and then we're going to attack with Skarmory. All right. Perfect. 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 One Yanma down. The Dialga is going to be coming out. And if I'm able to take that Dialga, wow. Wow. There's Yanmega. So Metallic Turbo is going to start powering up the Yanmega. The Yanmega does 120, so I don't know how we're going to really win this one. We'll see. Okay. Okay. So we're going to attack the Dialga. I'm not running Cyrus in this deck, so I'm using a Sabrina instead. I found Sabrina just to be a little bit more proactive as opposed to Cyrus waiting for our opponent to have to make a move on something. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So they take my Skarmory. I have Porygon-Z ready to go. As of right now, they have no more. They get no more steel energy to place. It's going to be whatever I give it. So he's going to have to use Metallic Turbo if he wants more steel energy. But this is a colorless thing, so I guess I'm not really. This isn't even like a deck that's going to actually be counterable for me. All right, let's do this. Let's just do as much as we can. So if they do attack me, it's going to be over. They're going to have to swap out to Yanmega. Okay. So they should swap out. To Mew? 3 EXs out here, so any of these are going to be able to. If I claim any of these Pokemon, they're gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. He probably should have put his Yanmega out. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done if I were in his shoes. All right, let's go ahead and put our Porygon out. There's no reason not to. Let's see the data scan. Porygon 2 is coming, so I'm going to have a full new line of Porygon ready. Okay, Buggy Beam. Let's just dig into it. I mean, I can't do much. I can Sabrina. At this point, if he trades anything out and attacks me, I'm going to just Sabrina, and then I'll be able to win. So I think we actually did pull this out. This is pretty awesome. Okay, so Yanmega's coming. And he can't attack with it. Oh, he's going to Dawn. Interesting. Okay, so he can't attack with it. He's going to take 20 damage, but I'm going to Sabrina whatever it is back on his back row. All right, perfect. Perfect. Let's see if we can go to the victory screen. Yeah, they don't let us go to the victory screen. Dang it. That's okay. Another excellent showcase of this deck. All right, so that pretty much wraps up today's gameplay. I hope that you all really enjoyed that and see the power of Porygon and its complementary Skarmory. This deck is super fun to play, and I think that if you all put it together yourselves, you would also see the potential that it has, because winning with this deck is so satisfying, and the foresight of Porygon is something that I just really haven't had access with yet in Pokemon Pocket. Because of that, I think it's pretty unique. And before we wrap up, I'd like to take again another opportunity to appreciate you all for being my audience. I'm so excited to be across the 80 subscriber threshold, and I'm humbled by your support. And I'm excited that you're all here with me and are here for the growth. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. Comment down there and let me know exactly what you appreciated about my commentary, and if you're going to try this deck out there in the wild yourself. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with notifications on so that you can be notified whenever I have something amazing for you. I've always got something in the oven cooking up, and I'm very excited to be able to put it together for you. My name is Dead Mewtwo, and I want you to have a safe and blessed day. Bye-bye.